Video games are a weird medium. Unlike movies, most video games get a very positive reaction. Just take Metacritic. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that when a movie is really good, it will receive a must-watch banner, certifying it as a film that is almost guaranteed to entertain you. And the video game counterpart to this is the must-play banner. Now, if you pay even closer attention, you notice that a movie only needs to receive a Metacritic score of an 80 to receive this banner, while a video game needs to receive a score of at least 90. And that's not because movies are critiqued way harsher than games, but because games, even at their most disappointing, are usually still pretty fun. I mean, take Red Dead 2, a game that I thought was fun, but overall a bit disappointing due to feeling exactly like the first game, and not really incentivizing the player to explore like in the previous year's Breath of the Wild. And this game, which I called a disappointment, still got away with a 97 on Metacritic. Games that are considered bad still get away with, at the very least, a low to mid 70 score. Then there's Cyberpunk 2077, one of the most anticipated games of all time and almost guaranteed to be one of the best RPGs made by the people who put out The Witcher 3, the most awarded video game in the history of the medium. And after 7 years of waiting, amazing gameplay trailers, Keanu Reeves, we finally have our hands on Cyberpunk. So, let's have a look at that Metacritic score for Cyberpunk 2077. Man. Granted, this is the PS4 Metascore, and the PC score is much better, but what happened? People were saying that this was supposed to be the greatest of all time, and I literally haven't seen a AAA game score this low since, is there one? I honestly have no idea, and despite the fact that the game runs much better on PC, it's still buggy as all hell. But I'm not here to discuss bugs yet, I'm here to discuss the entire game, which I did play on PC with a 1080p monitor. So yeah, let's talk Cyberpunk. Holy crap, there's a lot to unpack. Let's start with the things that are great about this game. Night City. Jesus Christ. I won't lie, if you pay too much attention to the AI walking around, it'll take you right out of the experience. But the city itself looks incredible. I could and did actually drive around the city for hours just to do it. Just to see what I could find. And let me tell you, I found this lady, if you pay her, she takes you to her room and does stuff with you. So yeah, this is a pretty good game. Next thing I really like, the balance in quests. What do I mean by this? Well, developers have forgotten what makes a side quest interesting. Most games now, you go on a side quest, lady tells you she lost her cat, you gotta go find the cat and get the cat and bring the cat back to the lady. Or maybe it's not a cat, maybe it's like a purse or a badge or something that you don't care about. And I'm just so bored of this, and the only reason I even do it is because I like to level up my character like any other person does, but in Cyberpunk this is not really a problem. Side jobs and main missions are almost interchangeable. There is some side content that will absolutely blow you away. Stuff that made me realize that if I had skipped it and ran through the story as fast as I could, I would have missed out on some amazing storytelling and some fantastic action. There's this one that I talked about on the podcast where Delamain, it's an AI taxi service, loses several of his cars throughout the city and you have to find each and every one of them. The reason they were lost in the first place is because they all had existential crises and cut themselves off from the main hub. As I discovered the cars, I also discovered that each one has their own unique personality. One even tried to kill himself by driving off a bridge because being a car instead of a human was just too much for his car mind to bear. And that is just one side quest in this game among many others. But I know what all 12 of you are here about, and it's the story. How's the story in Cyberpunk 2077? While it's not perfect, the story in Cyberpunk is one of two things that I will never forget about this game. The pacing at times is all over the place. I chose the nomad lifestyle, which meant I opened up on an amazing action sequence, leading into a montage that launched me into Night City. But after the title card, the story kinda goes like this. At the end of the day, if your one and only question is, did the story make me feel things? Then yes, Cyberpunk is a narrative-driven game with fantastic performances, the best of which, in my opinion, is Johnny Silverhand, played by Keanu Reeves. Of the reviews that I've seen, Keanu has been deemed a low point in terms of Cyberpunk performances, and I couldn't disagree more. Keanu's performance in Cyberpunk completely contrasts the rest of the cast, where everyone is super big, and it's Night City, and let's dance, and get this one last job, and Keanu is very subdued. Johnny's expressions and choice of words carry a lot of weight in history, and I think it's portrayed wonderfully through Keanu's acting. And lastly, the music. Oh my god, the music. Every track on this album absolutely slaps, and that includes most of the radio stations that you can scroll through in your car. I said the story was one of the two things that I will never forget, and the music is the other thing. But not everything is perfect. Oh my god, CD Projekt Red, what have you done? Why? Why does my character T-pose when driving under an overpass? Why does Pan just disappear whenever she hops into the driver's seat and I can't even hear her dialogue now?
The risk.
Why do my buttons just stop working for no reason? Why a lot of stuff? I could just sit here and run down this laundry list of bugs that this game has. My roommates and I have a collected total of 40 plus game crashes on this most anticipated game of all time. What happened? I have been mildly let down by games in the past that I was super excited for, but this is something else. We have never seen anything like this before, and I don't say that to sound dramatic. This is not some weird coincidence that occurred, like seeing a turtle piss on a cactus or something. Like, this never should have happened. I have seen countless tweets and Reddit posts about how this game should have had another year in the oven, this game should have had another year in development. This game is not fixable in 1 year. This is not one little easy fix-up. You want to know why? Well, let's take a break from all the bugs and glitches and crashes, and let's take a look at the gameplay reveal trailer, where CD Projekt Red stated that you can climb on walls with the mantis blades, which you can't. That there would be an NPC bounty hunter chase you whenever your wanted level was high enough. It doesn't exist. That you can not only get amazing cyberware, but cool cybernetic enhancements like robotic arms, which no, you can't do that either. They also said that you could either sleep around with hookers all over Night City or commit to a long-lasting relationship with one of many romance options. Okay, here's my problem with this. You can sleep around with the one and only hooker in the entire game. And the romance options for guys, you have Pan, who the internet said placed second to Judy, who is actually lesbian. And by the way, there's no way to reverse this. Absolutely no way. It doesn't matter how big you make your penis size. Judy, the romance option that people are actually enticed to pursue, is lesbian and will always be lesbian. So definitely make your character female at the start. All jokes aside, there were other things that were misleading, like character customization. Honestly, Skyrim has a deeper character customization setup, and that game came out almost a decade ago. Everything in Cyberpunk is preset, and once you choose it, it cannot be changed. Because I guess barbers don't exist in Cyberpunk, but who cares? It's not like this is an open world RPG or anything. I could rant on and on about this game, but at the end of the day, I think that this is all kind of funny in its own little way. Like, sometimes you just gotta laugh. CD Projekt Red made a game about rebels who try to stick it to the man by taking down these giant corporations, and in the end, CD's downfall ended up being the corpos who forced this game out of the oven in time for Christmas. It's all very ironic, but the funniest thing of all, despite the bugs, despite the unfulfilled promises, despite receiving one of the lowest scores I've ever seen a game this highly anticipated receive, there is still a lot of fun to be had in Cyberpunk. There are moments in this game where you will be sitting there and just be like, wow, this is why they made this game. Then there are moments where you'll be sitting there saying, why did they make this game? It had me at times and it lost me at times. And then it started reeling me back in. Nope, PS2 graphics on the pizza. This game is just an anomaly and I don't even know how to score it. Do I base it off my less buggy PC experience, or do I incorporate my knowledge of the lies, the performances on other consoles? So for this time, and this time only, I don't think I'm going to rate the game, and I'm only going to tell you to either play it on PC or just wait. I would really like to see CD Projekt Red fix a few things to make it playable on other consoles, then just say f*** it and ditch the game, and start working on a definitive current-gen version of Cyberpunk 2077 with all the things that they had originally promised. That's really all I got for this game review. Sorry it took so long, but I had a lot to say. I didn't really know how to articulate all of it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to start trying to bring out more game reviews and more movie reviews, so I hope you stick around. Thank you for watching, and I will see y'all next week.